Welcome back to State of the Nation. The Senate Committee on Constitution Amendment is proposing that the local governments without democratically elected councils should not be entitled to revenues from the Federation accounts. It also proposed that the Constitution be amended to ensure that the President and governors assign portfolios to ministerial as well as commissioner nominees before legislative confirmation. Let's take a listen to that.
Three successful amendments of the Constitution since the return to democracy in 1999. An attempt to amend the Constitution in the 7th Assembly was unsuccessful as former President Goodluck Jonathan failed to sign the Constitution Amendment Bill into law before the expiration of his administration.
To make this motion.
The 8th Assembly has again begun the process of amending the 1999 Constitution. The chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee presents the proposals for amendment before the Senate. Some of the proposals are a uniform 3-year tenure for elected local government council officials, provide for national savings of 50% of oil revenue above the benchmark for a particular year and 10% of any non-oil revenue paid into the Federation account, abrogate the state joint local government account and pay monies due to local government councils directly into their respective accounts.
Section 147 and 190 of the Constitution be amended to ensure that President and governors designate and assign portfolios to persons nominated as ministers or commissioners, respectively, prior to confirmation by the Senate or the State House Assembly.
Another federal lawmaker, Senator Stella Odwa, is presenting a bill before the Senate to provide an institutional framework for constituency projects.
The constituency project shall constitute, if approved, 20% of the annual budget by ensuring that certain portion of the nation's annual budget be set aside for rural development.
Bring federal resources to aid local constituencies so that problems that cannot be solved by the resources of the local government and states alone can be aided by federal presence.
Senate President Bukola Saraki believes that the controversy surrounding constituency projects need not arise.
Now, if in the implementation there are issues, either in the award of the contract, the implementation of it, the mobilization, those are executive issues. And I think any serious executive arm of government knows what it needs to do to ensure that funds that have been allocated, all our responsibility here is to provide those projects to our constituency, full stop.
The President of the Nigerian Senate, of course, Dr. Bukola Saraki. Now, Mr. Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and Dr. Austin Uweze from the Pan-Atlantic University is still with me in the studio to have a look at this all too important proposal from the senators. Let's start with you again in Abuja. What do you make of it?
Well, with respect to the senators or the National Assembly members, I think we are chasing the shadow once again. The last time, these members of the National Assembly spent, in fact, wasted 500 million naira on an amendment that was aborted by the executive. And of course, the court also played a role, in the whole abortion of that attempt. Now, if you listen to what is going on, playing out in the National Assembly, in the Senate, it's all about award of contracts. It's all about constituency projects. It's all about what should be taken from the Federation account or what should be paid to it. Nobody is talking of how to generate funds for the country, for development. It's all about how do we share? How do we get money to our constituencies? And I think the National Assembly members are missing out the essence of constitutional amendment or making. You got to carry the people along. You have to reflect their interests and aspirations. If it's about contract award at the level of the executive and the legislative arm of government, you are isolating, you are alienating yourself from the Nigerian people. And those proposals are going to be outrightly rejected. You haven't mentioned the fact that the National Assembly members are trying to confer immunity on themselves so that they will live above the rest of the society. So I think these are the issues. Now, if you want to share money, how do you get the money to share? I think this is more important. Nobody is talking of restoring national planning for the country. I mean, you just cannot sit down in Abuja and be talking of how to manage the oil money that is, drying up. The oil money
you saw. Permit me to just come in there. You saw some of the highlights of the proposal on those slides. If we can have those slides to come up again, where they wanted a uniform 3-year tenure for the at the local government level, and then paying monies directly into the local government accounts. How will this affect the vested powers on the governors if we have the monies paid into local government accounts directly?
First of all, we have to agree on the nature of the government. Do we want a 2-tier system of government or a 3-tier system? In the houses of assembly of the states, the arguments being sponsored by the governors are to the effect that we are going to collapse the local government with the state government, which has been done all over the country today. Now, the National Assembly members in Abuja can entertain themselves by making these proposals. When they get to the state houses of assembly, they are going to be roundly defeated because the governors are in control of the houses of assembly. So they have to take these proposals to the Nigerian people so that you are not drawing a line of dichotomy between the National Assembly members and the governors. Again, it's not about development. It's about who controls more funds in the country.
Permit me to just come in.
Jealous of the governor.
Permit me to just come in, just so I can ask also Dr. Austin Uweze with me here. Do you see this coming through, and how do you expect the governors will react to this proposal if it does scale through?
Because one is that we need to go back to the history. How did we come up with this new system, local government system that we're on today? 1975, 1976, the Brazilian system that was borrowed by the Murtala Mohammed Obasanjo regime, so that development can go down to the grassroots. But that has been defeated because what happened was you find that some areas, some states have more local government than the other. During the military era, from information available to us, that any military man that wanted to retire had always gone to the head of state, I'm retiring, give me a local government as part of my retirement plan.
They have a proof on that.
That was what happened. And then rather than using the local government to help the development in the local areas, it further impoverished these people. But the point is this. I don't support the idea of federal government giving money directly to the local government. The state should be there. Okay, if you give directly to the investor, what would the state be doing? But the point is that the state has every right to run the local government. So what the federal government should do is put pressure on the states to provide governance, to make sure that there's economic activities going on. Like Femi Falana said, it's all about sharing. They should be able to tell us how they're going to promote economic activities going on in the local government. That way, it will kind of bridge the gap between the urban-rural migration.
I'll take that as your final words. So I want to thank you so much indeed, Dr. Austin Uweze of the Pan Atlantic University, as we bring this program to a close, unfortunately. And to you also, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, in our Abuja studios. We will have to create another time to discuss on this very important proposal by the senators in another forum, and perhaps on the same show. I want to thank you so much indeed for your insights. And to you watching us all, our platforms. Many thanks indeed as well. See you next time for a fresh package. I am Gimba Umar and this is State of the Nation.